Okay, there we are. I do hope you return back here quickly. I am basically attempted to send an email with some invites and tags for some people, and it got complicated, so I just had to start a new feed. Just a technical problem. As I hope most of you know, I try. Let me groom myself here. I try to post a live hypnosis Q&A every Saturday about this time. So it is 11 o'clock Pacific time. That is 2 o'clock Eastern time. And wherever you're at, please say hello. And you're absolutely welcome to participate in this. I do have some topics I want to cover based on some questions that you had in the previous week sent to me. And of course, if you have questions and need some elaboration or want me to comment on something, I'm eager to do it. The very first thing is something that my mentor, Jeff Stevens, some time ago mentioned. Hey, John, thank you very much for joining. My mentor, Jeff Stevens, some time ago mentioned that he referred to as alpha training, and it was not hypnosis based, but it was a training in which people really become an alpha type of person, a leader type of person. The interesting thing about it, first of all, I never got to see it or take part of it. I only heard about it from Jeff. Essentially, it was developed as a collaboration between Jeff and his son Jeremy, who was basically hanging out with him, learning hypnosis and taking part in the seminars. And they essentially developed a system of steps in which a person can, in a moment's notice, sort of turn on a switch and just basically be the leader in the group, in the organization, in whatever they're present in. And they tested it out. As soon as they talked about it, one of the things that Jeff talked about and did is he mentioned that once they elaborated the steps, they had Jeremy go into a bar or a restaurant of some sort, and in a very short amount of time, he started to basically just lead the group. And it was incredibly impressive. Now, I did not at any point get the details of how he did that, but there are some things that do come to mind. Most of them I'm going to sort of refer back to the Ellipsis Manual by Chase Hughes. He puts a very short but an incredibly powerful chapter in the Ellipsis Manual called Authority and Leadership, and it really is sort of a central theme about how to be able to guide and lead people. Essentially, it has to do with, the short version is having your shit together, being able to speak with authority, confidence, how to do that. And he describes some very good processes you can do in the moment to sort of become a leader, an authority. And the fact of the matter is, it takes much more than being able to do it in the moment. What you have to do is sort of live it and get your shit together in all of your life and be able to demonstrate that you are an authority in your life. I'd like to sort of give an example. There is a hypnotist that I know, and if I mention his name, you would probably know him as well. He's relatively famous. He has performed a great deal in Las Vegas, and he absolutely presents himself as the authority and without exception. In any case, he will tell you something, and just because he's saying it with such certainty and confidence, you tend to believe it. I watched him once in a group auction off for $5,000, he auctioned off a $100 bill. Now that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but he presented it as having much more value than what it was, and he went through an auction, and there was a room full of people. You know, bidding started low, started at $1, and it just kept going up and up and up to $5,000, and someone actually leaned over, wrote out a check for $5,000, tore it out, handed it to him, and got a $100 bill in return. Now he will tell you, this particular hypnotist will tell you, that what he is doing is he's affecting you at the subconscious level. Well, in many ways he is. It has nothing to do with hypnosis. What he's doing is he's appealing to your need for authority, and how we all respond to authority. And he does it pretty much without hesitation. That's one of the reasons he's able to be as successful as he is. Dimitris, thank you for your comment. I want to say that I highly recommend Jeff's program. If you are interested in it, you will be able to find it. In fact, I'll post a link to it here shortly. But you'll be able to find it on my website, which is mindcontrolpublishing.com. It is a download. It's several, like 8 hours of videos. So it is super lengthy. It does take, the thing I really want you to know is it takes a while to download it. So you just have to be aware of that. Anyway, I'm going to provide a link here to it. There you go. Anyway, so essentially being able to be the alpha in every situation, it takes a lot of balls. It's, for me personally, it is exhausting because you really have to get out of everything that you are familiar with. You have to be the first to suggest something. You have to be the first to encourage. You have to be the first to act. And you have to act as if you know everyone's going to follow along and you don't care if they don't. So it is, like I said, for me personally exhausting, but I can imagine the incredible power of it. It is unfortunate that Jeff and Jeremy never really got a chance to codify it into a training, even though they wrote it down. Any of you who are in contact with Jeremy Stevens, he's in the military now, he is married, he has family. If you can coax him to sort of talk about the alpha training, that would be awesome. I'll see what I can do on my end. A question that came up from Miko about the mystery place. Now, the mystery place is a hypnosis process. In fact, I am going to look for his, bear with me here. I'm going to look for Miko's question. The mystery place is a part of a larger training. It's a one-on-one training called the Hypnotic Memory Program. I've talked about this before. Just to recap, hypnotic memory is a 3-day one-on-one hypnosis training. You have one hypnotist working with one client and basically totally messing with their heads so that they have this incredible memory that all works at the subconscious level. I was talking with a friend and trying to determine what's the difference between having the hypnotic memory, also known as the learning place, and just doing something over and over again by rote until you memorize it. And the difference is, over and over again by rote is conscious. It works. It takes a huge amount of effort, but eventually you start to, grain deep into your memory the facts, the information that you need to know. And it takes a lot of energy. But doing it at a subconscious level, whatever information that you see there that is important, it is immediately stored, made available for access. So let's go here. Let me find Miko's question here. Let's see. Here we go. Oh yes, the mystery room. Now, part of this, and it is just a small part, but it's an important part. Part of the hypnotic training is training to create what's called the mystery room. The mystery room is a concept that is a mental construct within the mind. You first create the sanctuary, which is the place where the person feels the very most in control, and where they can go at any time and basically take a break from the world. It's quite awesome. A part of sanctuary is what's called the mystery room. It has a very specific function. The mystery room is there so that if there is something that you know, but you can't recover it, or if you've got all the information, but it's not fitting together, it's not sort of linking together, what you do is you enter into the mystery room. You ask your subconscious mind to create a symbol for this question. And once the symbol is given to you by the subconscious mind, you place it, again, it's part of the construct, but you place it on the table that's in the mystery room, but you do it with the absolute knowledge and understanding that once your subconscious is given this question in the form of a symbol, it will give you an answer. If not immediately, it will do it eventually. It will work beneath the surface at a subconscious level to make everything starting to fit together to give you the information that you need. Now, and it's quite amazing. So for example, if you're studying something and you've pretty much studied it and you know it and you know it, but somehow something isn't clicking, it just doesn't seem like you're getting a visceral grasp of it, even though you know the details. That's a great chance to put something in the mystery room. Or if you have learned something, but for whatever reason you've lost it, it's not available, but you know you knew it somehow. Again, create a symbol for the question you're asking, place it in the mystery room, and you do it with the knowledge and understanding that your subconscious mind is going to, at some point, simply reveal it to you. And it won't be something you have to think about or work at. Now, Miko's question is this process, can it be used as a standalone method to improve problem solving and comprehension skills? Yes, that's the answer. Yes. And I think you can, with practice, this is something you could do very much on your own. Keep in mind, everything that we talk about here is a construct, a mental construct. So you start by creating it in your mind. You create, in the case of the hypnotic memory program, you create the sanctuary, a place where you can put aside anything that's any worries or concerns or anything like that, and just be in a state of absolute peace and control. You stay in there, you sort of bask in it for a while. And this is something you can do just with your own imagination. That I have some down from free downloadable CDs, audios on my website. Okay, and again, I am going to now give you those. Let's see if I can find them here. But you can use them, and they are strictly around the sanctuary. They're solely the sanctuary recordings. So let me see what I can do. And if I find them here, I will post them. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. Well, I have, first of all, I do have a product. I'm going to link the product, but you do not have to buy the product. I'm going to give you another link in which you can download it. Yay! Thank God for free downloads. Because this product is something that I offer to my clients and to anyone. So let me see. Here we go. All right. Okay, this is the place where you can download them for free. There we go. Listen to the downloads. In it, you will create your sanctuary. And it is something that's simple enough. You could do it on your own if you're good at imagining. But once you have your sanctuary, create a place. We'll call it the mystery place, which has a very specific, unique purpose and structure. Its purpose is when you ask a question of it, sort of like a wishing well or something like that, or like the Oracle of Delphi. As soon as you create a symbol that represents your question, you know that at some point your subconscious mind is just absolutely going to reveal it to you. So yes, you can do that. Miko, it's a great question. Please, if there's anything more I can do to elaborate on that, let me know. Let's see, who else do we have listening here? Okay. Another question came up is in my experience, well, again, let me go down to the very specific question. And again, Miko, thank you very much for asking this. How much do you know about working with issues that are considered psychiatric problems? Specifically, are you aware how to, quote, reintegrate audiovisual, etc., hallucinations so that the person stops having these issues? There are a couple ways I'm going to have to answer that. Psychological problems that I can deal with, that I am comfortable dealing with, are ones that have to do with self-image, depression. The ones that I personally don't like to deal with, and I'll tell you why, are bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and things like that. Now keep in mind, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a guy who fixes problems. Typically people who come with, let's say they're reporting depression. That is largely a habit of how they see themselves. Now, if I can alter how they see themselves, if I can strengthen their ego, they are different. Part of the whole 3-step hypnosis process that I use is to make them see themselves differently than they've ever seen themselves before, and in a very positive light. To see themselves as worthy, as lovable, as kind, as strong, and as important. And most people, I don't just mean the ones that see me, I mean most people at some level, are walking around somewhat wounded. And we all have these experiences in life. A quote that came from the movie Red Sparrow, it's a paraphrase, but it's, think of everyone as a puzzle. And if you can find what their missing piece is, they will do anything for you. Well, this is true. Everyone has in some way a missing piece. If they come to me as a hypnotist, they're trying to gain a sense of control. They have probably had a very difficult time and are really down on themselves because they don't have the control that they want. So part of what I do is give them back that control. Get rid of a craving so they can say no to cigarettes. But I also want to fill in that missing piece of the puzzle, which is make them feel so good about themselves that they have no reason, they can't even imagine going back to smoking. So again, psychiatric problems that I deal with are usually the ones of the walking wounded. You know, they're depressed. They sometimes have trauma in their lives from childhood or post-traumatic stress through some sort of trauma, traffic accident, or military service, or something like that. Those I can work with, and I'm eager to work with them, and I like working with them. I can also, under the right circumstance, work with people who are attempting to get off drugs. I have to qualify them, but again, it is something I could work with that sometimes is considered a psychiatric problem. Now, what I don't like to work with, I try to avoid working with, are people who are bipolar and who are schizophrenic. Now, I'll start first of all with schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is an entirely altered rewiring of the brain. It is, as far as I have had some personal experience with schizophrenia, so I've been traumatized with it. I don't want my issues coming up when I'm working with someone with schizophrenia. So that doesn't mean hypnosis can't work with it. Just I don't want to do it. I've had some issues with people who are schizophrenic, and it does bring up some personal issues. And I see schizophrenia as a real wiring problem. I mean, these people have bubbling up beliefs that are transient. They sometimes believe they're grandiose and that people are talking to them, and that, diet sodas have magical abilities to them. Any sort of weird thing that you want. My experience is when you hypnotize someone who is schizophrenic, the only thing you get from it is a hypnotized schizophrenic. The schizophrenia doesn't go away. Bipolar disorder, again, I've had personal experience with people with bipolar disorder, and I've been personally traumatized in my own way. I can work with them, and there are some things that can be done with bipolar disorder. I'll talk about that. That can help. Now, keep in mind, bipolar disorder has the high manic and the incredible low depression, and they cycle up and down, up and down, and they can be very slow or very rapid cycling. The typical way of dealing with it, and this can be done through a neurolinguistic programming process, which is you elicit the state of mania and you anchor it. Then you elicit the state of depression and you anchor it. So, and then you test it out. Mania, yeah. Depression, and then you test it out, and then you fire them both at the same time. And what will happen is you'll watch this person's sort of brain start getting rewired, and smoke will come out of their ears and their eyes will start jittering back and forth. And once the confusion subsides, there will be a tendency, it doesn't always happen, there will be a tendency that those two extremes will start to collapse. The tendency, and again, I haven't done it a lot, I try not to work with bipolar, but the tendency is that the highs will not be as high, the lows not as low, and the distance, the time between the highs and lows are going to be spread out. So over time, those peaks and those valleys are going to start to flatten out. So that is typically what can happen in working with bipolar disorder. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. I was going to mention some hypnosis audios. Okay, I've been doing this a little while, and so I get some interesting emails from people. One fellow who contacted me very recently, I haven't gotten a response back from him that I know of anyway, but one person who I've contacted me very recently sent me an audio recording. Very interesting. let me see if I've gotten any response back from him. But basically what he did, he used my my sanctuary technique with his girlfriend. Apparently, here we go. I did get a response. Let's see. Okay, bear with me here. Okay, all right. Okay, well, the audio that he sent, he did not engineer. I was going to comment on it. And it looks like since he did not engineer it, he found it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the audio link to you sometime in the next week or so. Essentially what it is, it's as you can imagine, there are more than a few people who think hypnosis is a really fun, crazy, erotic modality for erotic type stuff. And this particular fellow introduced his girlfriend to the sanctuary audios and did great. She loved it. He questioned her to determine if she felt there was any sort of coercion or being forced to do anything that she wouldn't want to do, and there isn't. I mean, and so she felt great about it. The end result is that what he did is he took my sanctuary audios and just cut the middle of it out from the very beginning. He has the induction, and on the other side he has the exduction, the outro, the egress. In the middle he put this audio that he had found. He referred to it as the amber, let's see, amber hypnosis, amber special command. And it is a very, it's designed to sort of create an erotic alternate personality. What I was very impressed about, which is something I hadn't considered, is he began to, in the audio speaks of this personality, which is referred to as Amber, in the third person. It's never said, you are Amber. It says, watch Amber. And so immediately the hypnotized person would see this person named Amber. Amber is doing this. Amber is responding to this. Amber likes this. And I realized that as that proceeded, I thought it was very impressive that you would very naturally, a person listening to it who is susceptible and enjoying it, would start creating Amber in their mind. It then ends by making the listener become Amber. And again, it is all for the erotic purposes and things like that. Personally, I'm looking at it for its hypnotic quality. I was impressed by that. The whole idea of hypnosis for erosis was interesting to me for about 20 minutes. That's for other people's cup of tea. I find it mildly interesting, and of course, when I was much younger, it was of interest for a while. But right now, it's more about helping people. I will also share another, and I think you might find it if you go down read the messages from maybe a year or so ago. One called Core Extraction. It is also a erotic hypnosis process, and I was very impressed by it. It basically removes a person's identity, ego, and sense of self, and becomes very, I listened to it, imagined it happening to me, and I thought it was like really pleasant. So I'll see if I can share that one as well. The whole Amber hypnosis process, it it did not, again, its whole focus was on using it for erotic role play. I was impressed how it could be used to create an absolute Manchurian candidate alternate personality. It didn't go that direction, but I would be impressed if someone wanted to test that out. If anyone is all interested in that process, again, it's not something I have done. I don't have experience in it. I have a mild interest in it. I do believe it can be done. And it is, again, if referral to this book, The Ellipsis Manual by Chase Hughes. If you get a chance to read it, read it. It is incredibly thorough. Nearing the end, as sort of a progression, it talks about the hypnosis process that creates an alternate personality, specifically an alternate personality that is there to help the person, not, become an assassin or anything like that, but the alternate personality is there to help the person. Yes, Miko asked a question. Sometimes I get asked about dyslexia and hypnosis. I have, excellent, yes. Mentioned success using hypnosis to help someone with dyslexia. It would be great, Miko, if you could post your process that you use to this list. I would love to see it. I do believe it is very straightforward. Keep in mind, dyslexia is when the mind sees information and gives it to the conscious mind in sort of a backwards order. If you were to, I do believe it can work. If you were to inject into it a subconscious process that ordered it in an entirely different way, so it comes out to the conscious mind, much like everyone else does who doesn't have dyslexia, you could definitely have some good results. It is not something I have a lot of experience with working with dyslexia, but I have done it a little bit. I would love to know the process that you used. And if you would type that up and share it with the group, it would be a welcome contribution. Let's see, anything else? And Miko says he just used the golden box. I totally get that. The golden box is so amazing. And again, once you are at the level of the subconscious mind, you would just give the instruction of subconscious mind. You're used to processing information in a way that really tends to confuse John or Jane. And that's how you're used to doing it. But now, that's not what's best for John or Jane. What's best is to take the information and organize it so that it's easily understood and processed. That would be a very straightforward way of doing it. Main thing was to take the person and really get an understanding of all the pieces of the problem. Okay. You said first piece was letters are moving around. Okay. All right. Wonderful. I'm going to give that comment a heart. Thank you so much. That's great. All right. Miko, thank you for contributing that. That's awesome. So the golden box is totally mind-blowing with what it can do. A couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, I did have a client who had a traumatic experience and a complete memory block to it. And it was a weird experience. I totally get that. And we went through, I hypnotized her, went through the experience up to the point of the block, and it was there. I mean, she couldn't go beyond that. She had no memory beyond that 30-minute point of time. So went deeper into hypnosis, went to the golden box, and basically said, subconscious mind, You had reasons for blocking these memories out. This person's now absolutely safe to remember it. You can release all the memories to her. Went through the memory again, fixed, totally fixed. Everything came back that she needed and wanted in it. So I was pleasantly surprised through the whole process. So let's see, is there anything else that we're going to talk about here? Okay, well, one of the things I want to do here is I'm just sort of going to wrap it up. I want to remind everybody, oh yeah, there is something I want to talk about, which is a hypnosis training. I am scheduling a hypnosis training. Oh, excellent, Miko. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, anyone who's watching this, read the comments. Miko describes the process he went through that to help that person. So awesome. I do want to talk about a hypnosis training. I'm going to give you a link. The hypnosis training is not scheduled yet, but the website is up. And I want to show you the link simply because if you look on it on your mobile phone, it's an awesome appearance. So I'm going to be scheduling a hypnosis training. I'm not sure when, maybe June, maybe August, I'm not sure. But we'll determine that very shortly, and I will be announcing that. I really want to schedule also an advanced hypnosis training. I just released a book on Mind Control Publishing of the 3-step hypnosis process that I use on just about everybody. It's a step beyond the Jeffrey Stevens model. It includes pretty much everything that is in the Jeffrey Stevens model, but there are some additions and some fine tunings, and it goes up to 3 sessions. So I want to teach that because I'm getting just incredible results from that. Yes, Elliot, yes, that is the new training that in fact, I will, here I'm going to go back to products here, and I will link the book of the new training. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So that is the book. I want to actually give a training on it. There will be a requirement, which is you, at the very least, you either have to have been through a seminar that I have taught in hypnosis, or you have watched, downloaded, and please have used and practiced Jeff Stevens' hypnosis model that you can also download here that I mentioned earlier. Because you do have to have a passing familiarity with the Stevens model of hypnosis to go into the advanced hypnosis 3-session model. It's pretty straightforward what we do, and I go through all the steps and I explain why every step is there. And again, you get some incredible results right from the very start, and people love you for it, and you get to charge a lot of money because people pay for results. If you have any questions about that, let me know. If you have ideas on the better times to do, times of the year to do a hypnosis training, let me know. I will consider it, but ultimately it is going to be up to me. And if you want to go to this hypnosis training, and I won't be changing the dates for you, but I'll consider the recommendations that you give for dates. So go ahead and I've given you a bunch of links there to check out. If you have any other questions or comments, let me know. I would be eager to answer them for you, of course. On top of that, just remember, every Saturday, I did miss the last couple of Saturdays for reasons that are important to me, but I don't want to do that very regularly. Every Saturday at this time, during this hour, for up to the hour, and I do it longer if it's needed, I will actively answer your questions and do answer your questions as well as comment on anything that you have. Please feel free. While you're live here, post the questions, or I think there's a way to actually do a dual broadcast. That would be great, but I'm not sure if we can do that. But also just throughout the week, post your questions here in the Advanced Hypnosis Skills group. I will address them at the end of the week. I want to thank you, Miko, for contributing here and asking those questions. There were some other people who made some comments and questions I want to thank. Make a note to visit this. Please like it, share it. There are lots of other hypnosis groups, and I'm sure you're a part of them. So please hit the share button and share it in one of your hypnosis groups and to your other hypnosis friends. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Guys, Elliot, thank you so much. I will be talking with you next week, and make it awesome. I am wearing my green St. Patrick's today, so I want you guys to have a great weekend. Love you all. Take care. Bye.